Juventus bid for Mason Greenwood, Bruno Fernandes exit price set, and Manchester United looking at signing another player from Nice. These are some of the stories we will be discussing on this morning's live show. But before we get into that, please do me a small favour, smash a like on today's video. Let's try and see 200 likes on today's show. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe as well. We're live every single day throughout the transfer window. I do videos in the morning, videos in the evening, and if anything breaks during the day, I do go live as well. We're only 8 subscribers away from 23,000 as well, so it'd be very, very nice to hit that milestone. Get involved here on Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. Right, lots and lots to get into on the show this morning, so let's get straight on with it then, shall we? Let's talk a little bit about a player from Nice that apparently Manchester United are looking at signing. It's a player we've been linked to in the past. His name is Thuram, 23 years of age, 1 year left of his contract. He is not going to sign a new contract at Nice. He's available for around 17 to 25 million pounds. Very, very good player. Obviously, Nice is Ineos, so we already have that direct connection. I would love to see Thuram at Manchester United. I think he'd be the perfect profile for what we're looking for. He's a very defensive-minded midfielder, but he can also play as a centre mid as well, you know, as a more box-to-box option. He is... I don't know if he's been called up to the French national team for the Euros. I'm not sure, but he has been captained. He has been capped by France before in the past. He came through the Monaco youth system. He's a really, really good player. He played 27 times in the French league this season. As I said, very, very defensive-minded, so he would be a good option. If we don't want to keep Amrabat, then Thuram is a good option. And for 17 to 20 million pounds, I think it's a really, really good deal. Now, is he world-class? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I would put him in the world-class category, but I definitely think he's a very good squad player. I think he's a very good defensive midfielder. I think he's an upgrade on Casemiro. I don't know whether I can say if he's an upgrade on Amrabat, because I think Amrabat has done pretty well in the last 5 or 6 games, and I think Amrabat probably does deserve a contract, in it being completely honest. So I'm not going to sit here and say he's better than Amrabat, because I'll be honest, I don't know 100% that he is. But what I will say is this: he's a very similar type of player, but the big difference is he's only just turned 23, whereas Amrabat is 28 this season. So, you know, I think when you look at it like that, that already gives him a bit of a positive, if that makes sense. You know, you're buying somebody who's 5 years younger, a little bit quicker, and available for the same price. So if I had to pick between one or the other, I probably would go with Thuram, to be honest, if it was for the same amount of money, just because of the age, because apparently we're trying to buy players under the age of 25. We're trying to build a team for the future. And I think Thuram is somebody that you could have as part of your squad for the future. Whereas if we signed Sofian Amrabat, he'll probably do well for 1 or 2 seasons. But I think, you know, once he hits 31, which will be in a couple of years, he probably won't be able to keep up with it. You know, he already is quite slow, isn't he, Amrabat? He's not the fastest player. And I do fear that he might have looked good this season, but what happens in 1 or 2 seasons when he starts to get even slower than he is already? And then we've got him sat there on a 5-year contract. Whereas if you gave Thuram a 5-year contract, right, at the end of that contract, he's only going to be 28. So in theory, you could probably sell him on again then at that point. Whereas if you give Amrabat a 5-year contract, at the end of his 5-year contract, he's going to be 33 and probably will leave as a free agent. Does that make sense? So I would really, really like to see Thuram come to Manchester United. I think he'd be a quality signing, but we'll wait and see what happens with that one. Big ups to Tom, who's just joined the Daily Red Devil Members Club. Thank you very much for your support, my friend. I really, really do appreciate that. If you do want to join the Members Club like Tom has, Fred in the chat, Amnat, there's loads of you in the chat this morning, then hit the $sign. You get a little badge next to your name. I think it's 99p a month at the moment. So if you're in a position to do that, then please do that. You know, but then obviously if you're not in a position financially to do that, I totally understand. What you could do instead is just subscribe and like the video, because that really helps. So welcome to Tom, welcome to all our members, and welcome to everybody else as well. So yeah, for me, Thuram for that amount of money, I think that's a good deal. But as I said, I don't think he's world class, being completely honest. I think he's a squad player. So if you sign him with that intention, you're buying a player for 17 million who's better than Casemiro, is better at defensive work than McTominay, probably better than Eriksen, because Eriksen's not very good defensively, then you can see why we would sign him, because we desperately need a central defensive midfielder, don't we? If he was going to be our only signing in that position, I think that would be a little bit worrying. I would like to see someone like Amrabat or someone like Thuram, as well as somebody like a João Neves or a Frankie de Jong or somebody like that, like a better option. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. Thuram to Manchester United. That story came out from a very reliable French outlet saying that Man United have been in contact. He has 1 year left of his contract and he'll cost between 17 and 20 million pounds. So yeah, for me personally, I would take him over Amrabat just because of the age, because of our plan to try and build a team for the future. And I think that Amrabat doesn't really offer that. Amrabat is a now player. And if you're questioning whether he's good enough now, Amrabat, he's not going to be any better in 2 years. He's probably only going to get worse from here, realistically, especially, most players that come to Man United get worse, don't they? I don't think there's many players in the last 10 years who we've signed have come to Manchester United and have improved. Most of them get worse, just for whatever. I don't know why. That's a question that we should probably be looking at. The only real exception is probably Bruno Fernandes. Like, Bruno's probably the only player that's come in and has got better. Maguire's got worse. Who else have we signed recently? Anthony's got worse. Donny van de Beek got worse. Martinez, I think, as good as he was at Ajax. I don't think he's got any better. Casemiro's got worse. Eriksen's got worse. Højlund, I think, is the same as what he was at Atalanta. Who else have we signed? I can't think of anyone else. Wan-Bissaka, I don't think's got any better. Diogo Dalot's got better, to be fair. He's improved. But yeah, you get where I'm going with this. Most players who come to Manchester United, they're kind of on this upwards trajectory, and then they either level off like that or they come down. And that seems to be, I don't know why. I have no idea. But yeah, let's move on from that and talk a little bit about another midfielder that we've been linked to heavily over the last couple of days. Apparently, we had a bid rejected for João Neves earlier on this week. £51 million bid rejected by Benfica. This was coming out from various different journalists. Benfica are apparently asking for the full release clause to be paid. This is being reported by Fabrizio Romano this morning, obviously a very reliable journalist. He is reporting that they want the full 120 million euros asking price, which is about 100 million pounds. I mean, to me, that's absolutely ridiculous. I'm sorry. He's 19 years of age. I think he's played for Benfica in the first team for maybe 1 or 2 seasons. There is no way on earth that João Neves is worth 100 million pounds. Not a hope in hell. You could probably genuinely get Frankie de Jong, Amrabat, and Thuram for 100 million pounds, I reckon. You could probably get Frankie de Jong for 60, 65. You could get Amrabat for his release clause, which is 17 million. And then you get Thuram for 17 million. So what's that? 34. Yeah, I honestly genuinely reckon we could get Frankie de Jong, Amrabat, and Thuram for the same price as João Neves. And that's not, and that's just ridiculous. I'm sorry. Like, Man United shouldn't go anywhere near that. And Benfica are notorious for getting stupid amounts of money for their players, aren't they? They've done it time and time again. So people saying, oh, it's just a bargaining tactic. They don't really mean it, blah, blah, blah. Like, Benfica will get the amount of money they want. They got 130 million euros for João Felix, who, let's be honest, has been a flop. They got 120 million for Enzo Fernandez, who, let's be honest, has been a flop at Chelsea. They got 85 million for Darwin Núñez, who I don't think Darwin Núñez is a flop personally, but still 85 million for Darwin Núñez is crazy. And they got over 70 million for Ruben Diaz. They got 70 million for Gonzalo Ramos, who's done really badly at PSG. Like, they get the money they want for players, and they don't get themselves pushed over. They set the asking price, and either you pay it or they won't sell them to you. So Man United having to trigger the whole release clause, yeah, it's a no from me. Definitely not. Welcome everyone who's just joined the video, by the way. If you could all do me a little favour and smash a like, that would be really appreciated. Let's try and hit 200 likes on today's show. That would be a massive achievement. And yeah, also make sure you subscribe. We're literally 2 subscribers away from 23,000 now. So it's really, when you're really, really close to something, right? And you see the number like just underneath it, and it's really, really frustrating me. It's probably, we're literally like 2 away. So go and subscribe now. Right, let's move on to Bruno Fernandes then, shall we? Because I know this is going to cause a lot of debate in the fan base. So the headline this morning, coming out from a very reliable journalist in the UK, is that serious offers for Bruno Fernandes would have to begin at a minimum fee of £70 million. It says he is rated by Ineos, but they would be open to selling him if the price was right. I've said this for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, right? No player at Man United is unsellable at the moment. Bruno Fernandes is our best player, without a shadow of a doubt. The stats show that. Even last season, where we finished 8th, he was our best player. The season before, he was our best player. As I said, I think he's the only player that's come to Manchester United and has actually got better in the last decade, apart from maybe Dalot. Would I sell Bruno Fernandes, though? It's a difficult one, and there's two kind of angles we have to look at. Bruno Fernandes reportedly wants a new contract, okay? He wants to be the highest earner at the club. And you know what? I don't blame him. Imagine Bruno Fernandes is sat there on 250k a week, which is obviously a ridiculous amount of money for me or you. For a normal person, £250,000 a week is life-changing. You know, most people in the UK probably would earn that in 10 years, let alone a week. But this is football. So all of that just goes out the window, realistically, doesn't it? He sat there, right? I think he's missed one game in 5 years for Man United. He's always available. He always gives 150%. He's got the best stats. He gets the most goals. He gets the most assists. He wins Player of the Month every month pretty much, right? He sat there on 250k a week looking at Casemiro, Varane, Martial and Rashford, who are all earning more than him. But Casemiro and Varane are on about 350k a week, and Bruno sat there thinking, you two barely play 50% of the games. He's looking at Rashford thinking, you had one good season where you got 30 goals, which was incredible last season, and you're on 300k a week plus. You know, he seems like he doesn't have the right attitude and all the rest of it. And Bruno's looking at that saying, how are they earning more money than me? How? How is that possible? And I don't blame him. I would be asking for more money if I was him. But the big thing that we need to really, really home in on, this is a bit of a long-winded answer, but I want to give you, I don't want to just say sell Bruno or don't sell Bruno, because I think I have to give you my reasonings for why I've got to this place. So I've explained the situation. Bruno wants a new contract. He wants to earn more than the other players, which is fair. I totally accept that and I agree with that. But it's whether Ineos want to do that. Ineos are trying to get rid of the higher earners at Man United. They've got rid of Casemiro. Well, he's going to go to Saudi. 350k a week gone. They've got rid of Varane. 350k a week gone. Obviously, De Gea left last season. He was on 350k a week, gone. Martial, I think he's on about 250, gone. So at the moment, the only player left that will be on over 300 is Rashford. Everyone else will be underneath that. So they're actually making a really, really good progress here. They're making difficult decisions, you know, by letting go of people like Varane, by moving on people like Martial, by moving on Casemiro, touch wood. And it's now whether they open the door to it again by saying, Bruno, here you go, here's 350k a week. And me personally, I think it would be a mistake to do that. And the reason why I think it would be a mistake is Bruno Fernandes turns 30 in a month. Okay? I know he's still playing at an unbelievable level. He's never injured. So there's nothing to worry about right now. There's no worry that Bruno's aging. He's not got any worse. He gets better each season, in my opinion. But he's 30 next month. Okay? He's got 3 years left of his current contract. So at the end of his current contract, he'll be 33. Usually when people sign a new contract, it's, you know, for 4 or 5 years. The whole point is that it's a longer contract. So imagine we give Bruno, say, a 5-year contract at 350k a week. So he's then the highest earner, or up there with Rashford. He would be 35 and be earning 350k at Manchester United. Do we think, I mean, maybe Bruno Fernandes is a freak and at 35 he's still playing as well as he is now, but look at like Kevin De Bruyne, for example, right? Kevin De Bruyne's 32 and he's starting to pick up injuries a lot now. And there's even talk that Kevin De Bruyne's going to leave Man City and might go to Saudi because, you know, it does happen as you get older. Some people define logic. Some people are freaks and they just keep playing and playing and playing, like Ronaldo. You know, they look after themselves. They don't ever get injured. But I don't know. But so for me personally, I think Bruno's our best player. Bruno deserves the contract. But it's just whether Ineos want to max out that wage bill. You know, and to have a player on 350k a week at the age of 35, to me, seems like a silly thing to do. It seems like something we've done in the past. It seems like a mistake that, you know, the Glazers would do. So would I sell him? I think 70 million, I think no. I think if we were going 80, 90 million, I think yes, I probably would sell him, to be honest with you. Yeah, Darren says, regardless of the age, the club should have a salary cap, full stop. Yeah, you're right, mate. That's it. If there was a salary cap, then it wouldn't be a problem. And I would like to keep Bruno Fernandes. I just don't think giving him a new contract is sensible. He's got 3 years left of his current deal. Why are we going to give him a new contract? He already got a new contract like a season or two ago. And the only reason he wants a new contract is because he wants to be paid more, which is fair. So I would stamp my foot in the ground and say, Bruno, you're the captain. We love you. We're not going to give you a new contract. You're the second highest earner after Rashford now, obviously with Varane leaving, Casemiro probably leaving, Martial leaving, etc. You're the second highest paid player. We're not going to pay over this amount on players anymore. If you would like to stay, we would love for you to stay. If you're not happy with carrying on, then we'll sell you. And that's the best way to do it, I think, because you don't want a player who is unhappy, you know? But there is absolutely no doubt that he is our best player, without a shadow of a doubt. If he was 20 and he'd been, well, I mean, that's a bit of a stupid example, but say he was 22 and he'd been doing it for 5 years, I'd say give him the money because you know that he's going to be there for the next kind of 10 years, you know? But yeah, he is aging. Everybody ages. He's 30 in like next month. So yeah, that's my take on Bruno Fernandes. But apparently the price tag has been set. £70 million is where Manchester United will start listening for offers. Obviously, supposedly Bayern Munich are interested. Barcelona are interested. Clubs from Saudi are very interested. I don't think Bruno Fernandes would move to Saudi Arabia. I would be very surprised if he did. I guess stranger things have happened in football, though. Like, maybe he will go to Saudi, but I would say the chances of Bruno moving to Saudi are very, very slim. The thing you have to remember with Bruno is he hasn't actually won that much in his career. You know, Man United have only just started winning anything, and that's the League Cup and the FA Cup. He's never won the Champions League. He's never won the Premier League. He's not won the World Cup. He's not won the Euros. Like, I think the only trophies he's won are the League Cup, the FA Cup, and I think he won the Portuguese League once with Sporting Lisbon, and that's kind of it. So maybe he does have, you know, a desire to go to another team where he might actually win the top trophies, because at Manchester United, realistically, I don't know what you guys think about this, and it'll be interesting to see, but at Manchester United, I think we are on probably a 3 to 5 year project, you know? I expect us to be competing within 3 seasons. So not next season, not the season after that. I expect us to be competing for the Premier League. That's my expectation. And if we get a new manager, that could be even further setback, you know? If we get a new manager, it could be 5 years before we're competing. Whereas with Erik ten Hag, I'm expecting top 4 in Europa League this season, win the Europa League and finish in the top 4. Next season, I'm expecting to go into the latter rounds of the Champions League and to finish, you know, 2nd or 3rd. And then the season after that, I'd be expecting to win the league. That's my kind of expectations for Erik ten Hag, which I think is realistic. I know some people will say, oh, we should be winning the league next season, but that's just not going to happen. It's not realistic. So the point I'm making here, I've gone off on a bit of a tangent, is even if Bruno does stay, does anybody really think we're going to win the Premier League in the next 2 years with Bruno Fernandes? I don't think so. And it's not like if he stays, we'll win the Premier League, and if he goes, we won't win the Premier League. I don't think we'll win the Premier League regardless. So the point I'm trying to make is that, you know, if he actually wants to go and win some trophies now, at the age of 30, then leaving probably is the best decision, you know, for him and for his career. I mean, you look at Kyle Walker, right? Kyle Walker's a prime example. He won nothing in his career. He's 34 years of age now, Kyle Walker, right? I think he is literally the best example. Kyle Walker joined Man City in 2017. So he joined 7 years ago at the age of 28, and he'd won nothing in his career, not a single trophy at the age of 28, right? He's gone to Man City, and in 7 years, he's won the Premier League 6 times. He's won the Champions League. He's won the FA Cup twice, the League Cup 4 times. So in the space of like 6 years at Man City, or 7 years, he's won all of these incredible trophies. And I'm not saying Bruno Fernandes is exactly the same, but it's kind of a similar example where, you know, they're about the same age. Bruno's won obviously a few trophies, but he's not won anything like major. Right, let's see what people are saying in the comment section. Lumen says, Kieran, is Rashford affecting us on and off the pitch? I don't think so. I don't know. Let me know what you mean. Expand your question. United Edit says, what's your opinion on Anthony? I think Anthony is absolutely awful, to be honest with you, mate. I think he's terrible. For me personally, with Anthony, I would probably loan him out. Hope that he goes somewhere, he finds... Because he was good at Ajax, you know? This is what I'm saying. We don't improve players. But at the same time, a lot of players we sign are from like the Eredivisie, are from the Portuguese league, are from the Spanish league. And it is difficult to adjust to the Premier League. So for me personally, selling Anthony is stupid because of profit and sustainability. He would go down as a loss on our books because we spent 100 million euros on him. You'd probably be lucky to get 30 or 40 million euros for Anthony, realistically, right? Loan him out for a season, hope that he gets better, and try and bring him back. He's only 23, I think, so there is still potential. There clearly is a player there, but I don't know whether he's just come in and he's trying too hard. He's trying all these little tricks. He's not doing simple passes. He's not crossing the ball. Right, let's move on to Mason Greenwood then, because I know obviously a lot of people will be interested in this. So the headline this morning is that apparently Juventus have submitted an offer for Mason Greenwood. And the story goes as far as saying that apparently Mason Greenwood has said yes to a move to Juventus. Okay. I think that would be a really good move for him, to be honest with you. Let's have a look if I can see any more about it. So apparently Mason Greenwood says yes to Juventus. In relation to the fee, apparently Manchester United are asking for about 30 to 40 million pounds, which I think is fair. I think that is probably what Mason Greenwood is worth, right? So it says Man United want 30 to 40 million pounds for Mason Greenwood, but Juventus consider this excessive. Hence, they're studying including players in a potential deal. Apparently, Chiesa is somebody they might be willing to include in a swap deal. So Juventus have inquired, spoken to Mason Greenwood's camp. Mason Greenwood has said, yes, I would like to move to Juventus. They've then approached Manchester United. Man United have said, we want 30 to 40 million. Juventus say this is too much. And Juventus have come back saying, what if we were to offer a player plus some cash? So, and the player that's been mentioned is Chiesa. I think we would have to pay them some money if we got Chiesa, to be honest, because Chiesa, I mean, I don't know if he is a better player than Greenwood, to be honest, but yeah, to be fair, that probably would be a relatively good swap deal. Chiesa's got 1 year left of his contract. Chiesa for Mason Greenwood, straight swap deal. Let me know what you guys think. Would you do that? Let's do a poll actually quickly. So anybody watching live, you can get involved in the comment section. Let's do this. Would you do swap deal Mason Greenwood or Chiesa? I would. I think that would be a really good swap deal if we could get that deal done. Somebody says, would you sign Memphis Depay for free? Memphis Depay for free. 30 years of age. I mean, it didn't really work out the first time round, did it? With Memphis. Would I sign Memphis Depay for free? I think it all depends on wages and stuff. If it was a low wage, then probably I would be interested. But knowing Memphis Depay, he'd probably want ridiculous money. Let's have a look at how much he's earning at the moment. Memphis Depay, he's on about 150k a week. I don't know. I mean, if Erik ten Hag stayed, I could see someone like Depay being linked to Man United, but I don't know. Probably not, to be honest. I don't think I would go for Memphis Depay personally. Yeah, let me know. It's funny that someone suggested that, but yeah, I would probably say no to Memphis Depay. I think when he joined Manchester United, I was incredibly excited about it. It didn't work. I think the problem with Memphis Depay is he has too much focus on his brand off the pitch. You know, I think he's more focused on like his image and focused on, you know, building a following, and like, I think we've already got too many players in our squad like that. So yeah, for me, Memphis Depay would be a no. Dave says Chiesa's going to Newcastle. Not sure. I've not heard anything about that, mate, but fair enough. I've got a really itchy nose. Right. In relation to Erik ten Hag, quickly before we end the video, we're still waiting. Still silence from the club. Some people are saying they'll let us know today. Others are saying it could be weeks. it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. So yeah, we'll wait and see what happens with that one. But I'm gonna wrap the video up here, guys. The videos might be a little bit sporadic over the next couple of days because I'm going away today until Sunday. I'm gonna try and do some videos whilst I'm away, but I'm not sure how many there will be. There will obviously be normal service resuming from Monday, but yeah, I'm going to take my camera and my microphone, so I'll try and do videos where I can. But yeah, it might be at funny times. But have a good weekend, everybody. Thanks to everyone who joined me on the show this morning. Please do smash a like on the video before you go. Please do subscribe as well. We're very close to 23,000. I really want to hit that. Literally one away now. So if you're watching now and you're not subscribed, please do that. Just help me get to 23,000. I'll speak to you all later on. Have a great day. Bye-bye.